Right. Okay. So if you could tell us about your organization.
So I'm from an Australasian-based architectural firm called Architectus. We specialise in architecture, interior design, urban planning, urban design and master planning. So a whole range of design areas.
Great. So how would you relate yourself to the smart city creation here in India?
Our firm actually has a really strong research base and focus around designing for tropical and subtropical environments, which is really relevant to the Indian context. And that's where we think that some of the work that we've done with research institutes back home in Queensland, in Australia, could be useful and relevant in developing some of the smart cities here in India.
Right. Okay. However, how would you relate the smart city creation here in India? For that matter, Australia is one of the highest in human development index and we rank below 150. So would there be a complete different sets of rules and regulation for smart city creation here?
I think so. I think there's some learnings that could be taken from the regulatory system and the financial and taxation system of Australia that looks like where India is heading anyway. You're about to implement a GST. We've had a GST for well over a decade now and found it to be a highly successful taxation system. So there's lots of ways India is moving towards being a truly smart country, I think, which is really important, that it shouldn't just be focused on smart cities. It should be that India is a really smart country and is socially inclusive on many levels.
All right. What would be the extent of correlation and memorandum of understanding between India and Australia?
I know that we're working towards a free trade agreement at the moment between India and Australia, and that's been in the pipeline since Prime Minister Modi visited Australia late last year for the G20 summit. I think there's a huge opportunity for Australia to have a really strong memorandum of understanding with India, where we would be very happy to share our learnings and our knowledge and some of the systems and practices that we've got in place that might be useful and might be helpful to learn from.
Right. According to you, which model do you think India should follow? Because our landscape, the entire population configuration is different.
I think landscape and climate-wise, there's some very big similarities between Australia and India, and it goes right the way back to the start of history. You know that Australia and India were originally connected before the Ice Age, so there is very much similarities in terms of climate and landscape context. We suffer significant floods, very similar to those experienced in India. So I think there's learnings that could be taken on climate. The difference is, and you point that out correctly, is that our scale versus India's scale is significantly different, but I still think that there's ways through clever design that relates no matter what the scale is. I think designing smart cities it relates to small communities right the way through to large communities.
Right. Okay. If you could let us know a little about the existing smart cities you have in Australia, already a developed country. However, do you have some particular sections where you're working towards?
So at the moment, our firm is working on one of the largest hospitals under construction in the Southern Hemisphere. It's a $2 billion hospital on a greenfield site, so it's a brand new piece of catalytic infrastructure that's been it's on the right on the outskirts of Brisbane. So it's called the Sunshine Coast, and it's about 150 kilometres outside of the Brisbane CBD. So it's taking a big piece of catalytic infrastructure to develop an economy around that area, and other infrastructure is now following around it. So there's economic development which is supporting smart and sustainable communities.
All right. Do you think the entire project that we are focusing on, like Homes for All, India plans to have Homes for All by 2022, do you think all of this is really feasible, or it would be just black and white?
I think it's a great goal and a great aspiration to have to house everybody by that time, but I really think that you need to I was speaking with somebody in Mumbai earlier this week that had said you can't just take a particular housing style, whether that's high-rise, and drop it in a city because it might not necessarily meet the needs of those people that have been living in slums where they've developed their own little community and ecology on how they live. So I think it's working with the communities to understand the sort of housing that best suits their needs. I think that's really important, to be socially inclusive and try and create houses where people want to live in, because the people I was speaking with in Mumbai had said they had put these houses here, but it wasn't the way the people that had been in the slums wanted to live. So I think it's really important to consult back with the community and understand how they want to live. But I think housing for everybody is a fantastic initiative, and I think you need to work hard to achieve that goal.
All right. Well, the allocated amount by the government of India is 6,000 crores, which the government would put in, and we have the remaining amount which would come from international funding and companies abroad. However, there is a dichotomy, because here we do not have that kind of money wherein we will be making disaster, such development wherein after disaster, or it can be which can avert disasters. For example, high-rising buildings which would be earthquake resistant. So do you think it is feasible?
I do think it's feasible. I think through good design you can design things that are more resilient to those sorts of things. I know in Australia we are prone, and particularly in Queensland, we're prone to cyclones, flooding, and we have, through good design, been able to create buildings that are resilient to those sorts of conditions, yes.
Right, so it's good time for India.
Good design. Good design means everything, and a good design in all sorts of building typologies, whether you're talking big hospitals, whether you're talking small houses, whether you're talking high-rise. I think good design that's relative to the Indian context, that's relative to your landscape, to your climate and to your place and to your people is imperative.
All right. And how smart do you think these smart cities would be for the marginalized communities?
I think and from what I understand, each smart city is being developed by its local municipality that feeds up into your central government. And I think that if each municipality that's leading that smart city takes a socially inclusive approach and consults with everybody, from those that live into the slums to those that are big end of town business people. I think if there's a consultation process and you work together to create a community, it will be smart.
Great. I'm sure, hope so soon we would become a rabies-free country.
Yes, and, I know. This is my first time to India, and I'm extremely impressed by what's happening, and the Smart Cities Conference has been fantastic to hear the different stories that are happening across the states of India.
Right. As you spoke about it, what are the takeaways for a layman who does not know what a smart city is?
Takeaway for the layman that doesn't know what a smart city is that smart cities will be one that has the buy-in from everybody within the community. A smart city is something that harnesses the advantages that technology places in our society. I think smart cities are those that are able to provide to their community the basics of waste, good waste systems, good water systems, good harvesting of rainwater and making the most of the heavy rains that you get during the monsoon season, and I think providing good healthcare to people and accommodation that suits all, from affordable housing through to your high-rise, high-end of town housing.
So let's hope that next time we have the US president, we would not have 500 snipers in India, and we would be our own security system.
I really hope so. And we hope that next time Prime Minister Modi visits Australia, and Queensland in particular, that many of these smart cities are up and running. We look forward to hearing more.
I'm sure he would, because at present we feel like he's visiting India. And he's out promoting the good word of India, that's for sure. And we really enjoyed his visit to our country, and it was really an eye-opener for Australia to hear, and it was inspiring to hear him speak about his plans and his goals and his aspirations. And you have such a huge resource of people that you have the opportunity to make a big difference, not only to India but to the entire world globally, if smart cities are done correctly and with a focus on people and a focus on environment. Definitely. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Lovely to meet you too. Thank you.